Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy D-Man the Great, and I'm back once again, and I'm here, and I'm gonna finish up my Marvel Cinematic Universe list, and we're gonna run down every movie to this point by the numbers. Alright, and number -1 to number 23, number -1, I don't count it as part of the MCU, The Incredible Hulk. Number 22, Thor: The Dark World. 21, Iron Man 2. Number 20 is Thor. Number 19, Iron Man 3. 18, Doctor Strange. 17, Avengers Age of Ultron. 16, Captain Marvel. 15, Ant-Man and the Wasp. 14, Ant-Man. 13, Captain America the First Avenger. Number 12, Guardians Volume 2. Number 11, Black Panther. Number 10, Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 9, Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Number 8, Iron Man. And number 6B, Spider-Man Far From Home. Alright, so you've heard those now. We've covered those the last few, however many episodes we did, the last few episodes. And we're about to get into the top 6. Now, 6B was Spider-Man Far From Home, but 6A is Marvel's The Avengers. Or necessarily, in some countries, Avengers Assemble. And this is a great film. It's so lovable. It's so much fun to watch. It's so epic. It's so amazing. And just how it's just like, it was what the MCU was. It was the culmination of the MCU at that point until they started to go further and further along. And it was just the most groundbreaking flick at the time. And turns out we had we didn't have any type of idea of what we were in store for at that point, because it got so much better, so much faster. And running into the pros is Tony Stark, of course. Now, Tony Stark being a negative for some other films is a positive for this film, because Tony Stark is the man in the Avengers movies. He's the lead, because we've seen Iron Man before, and we've seen how he does and how he acts and how the character is. He's the star of the show in these films. The Captain America's intro to the 2010s was nice, and having Nick Fury and the Hawk being a scary force in the films was also great. And the hand-to-hand combat was pretty nice with the Black Widow and Hawkeye and Loki and versus Cap and Thor versus Iron Man. All of it was just nice. And it was an all-around great film. The cons of it is it's an origin flick for the Avengers. It loses energy after the heavy hitting Endgame and Infinity War, because the thing is, when you watch the first Avengers, it doesn't necessarily get the same fanfare, because like a lot of people would have watched Infinity War and Endgame first, and watching those films first takes a lot away from these Avengers films, such as Age of Ultron, especially Age of Ultron. And then the first Avengers was a great film, and it was a big show. It was a nice big film, which was different. We didn't have this particular flick in the first case. Like, we got the Avengers as a basically placeholder that takes over. But we're gonna get off Avengers. I didn't make no sense through that entire thing. Now number 5 is Avengers Infinity War. This is kind of low, but the pros are Thor and Stark versus Thanos. Black Widow having a bigger role is nice. The intro to Thanos, pretty much, we got to really see what the character, we got to see pick the mind and the matter for Thanos, and it was really great that he was an amazing villain in this film, and he really carried the film because it was his film. Now the cons are the Hulk got ditched out forever, which is disgusting, because the last thing you've seen of Mark Ruffalo's the real Incredible Hulk, not Professor Hulk, not Banner Hulk, but we talk about Ruffalo Hawk. Got his ass beat to hell by Thanos. And it really loses a lot of energy after Endgame. Like, to be honest with you, I don't feel like ever watching Infinity War again, really, after watching Endgame. Like, I don't care to actually watch that movie no more after seeing Endgame. And that's crazy that it happens. The Thor was nerfed in this film, got bitched out by Thanos within seconds. He didn't even get to fight like the Hulk. The Hulk just got his ass beat. You didn't get to see Thor get his ass beat. The Thor got his ass beat and couldn't do shit, and then had to go build a whole ass new weapon to fight this motherfucker. Had to almost kill himself to get a new weapon so he could fight Thanos and actually do anything. And then another kind is almost zero Captain America. One of the big stars of the series, Captain America, Steve Rogers, Chris Evans is the man. You gotta have Chris Evans in a Captain America movie. You gotta do it. I mean, not a Captain America movie, but an Avengers movie. It had no Hawkeye at all. That was a bad thing. Vision got bitched out, got scraped. Vision got scraped out of this earth. Just garbage. Vision got scraped. And that was awful as well. And the story lacks because it doesn't have any real stakes. And really, that's the kind for a lot of these, for most of the newest two Avengers. You didn't really get to do any deaths. And then a lot of the deaths were meaningless, like Spider-Man death in Infinity War, as you knew he was coming back for Far From Home, so it didn't really matter. Alright, so number 4 we're on is Captain America Civil War. Now, I really love this movie. I enjoy it. I watch it a lot. Now, it's my favorite. It was not my favorite, but it's high on those. Alright, pros are, has a strong story, strong characters, and great humor. It's pretty much the Avengers light. The excellent action, the intro to Black Panther, Spider-Man, bringing Ant-Man into the Avengers fold. Just a beautiful, lovely action flick, and it's great to watch. And the cons of it are, it's pretty much an Avengers film. In Captain America, Chris Evans didn't really get his justified third outing as the star character of the film, and that kind of takes a lot away from it, for me at least. And the death of Peggy Carter in this film, and it had a lot of plots that were just too many.
On your own until we can scramble some reinforcements. Sorry about that.
I have unfinished business with Loki.
It was extra.
Get in line.
Save it. Loki's gonna keep this fight focused on us, and that's what
Yeah, too many plots. Alright, number 1C. So we're not gonna have a regular top 3. We're gonna have 1C, 1B, 1A. Now 1C is Captain America the Winter Soldier. I taglined it with the most grown-up MCU film, and has the best rewatchability for me because it's a smart action spy flick, which is great. Alright, and the pros are the Bucky fights are the best, some of the best in cinema history. There's some of the best action sequences in the history of film in this movie, and that's just just how amazing it is. And then the pro acting and the tension in every scene was amazing. The intro to Future Cap Falcon.
You need help with
The
this?
Falcon
Oh, no, not
on
that
your
I'm
left.
judging.
It's nice. You gotta like it. And how the Hydra reveal and everything was set up. Nick Fury, car chase, all of it. Just only. And then now we're gonna get into the cons. Now the humor isn't crazy funny like all the other Avengers flicks. Like, you gotta have, when you have Stark, you get all the snarky lines in here and there, but it's pretty good. It's the restrictions on it from the future films really harmed it, I'd say. But outside of that, it's a pretty great flick. I mean, you can't really go wrong with watching Captain America the Winter Soldier. Now 1B is my favorite MCU film, the funniest MCU film to me, and the best theater experience I have ever had in my personal life. Just movie related, and that's Thor Ragnarok. And then the pose of this film is hilarious. It's dark. It's a final film pre-Infinity War, pretty much narrative story-wise, because in Black Panther necessarily takes place in 2016, and I'd say maybe the end credit scene takes place in 2018, right before the Thanos attack, and it's just amazing. And then Thor's breakout pretty much from being the behind the scenes, because like he really wasn't shit in the other, but he became one of the best after everything had happened. And just the last good Hulk movie, the Hulk had really at his best here. It was the last you ever really saw the Hulk, because the Hulk never really came back after this film, unless he is getting his ass beat by Thanos and never turning up again in history. The Hulk disappeared by Banner taking control of the body for 100% and becoming the Hulk full time. So we didn't see the Hulk anymore after this, but this is the last good Hulk movie. Valkyrie is amazing. One of my favorite characters in the whole verse. Loki was badass in this flick. Heimdall is one of the best characters in the film as well.
We have more incoming.
He got some work to do in this movie, because really Heimdall is one of the most underrated characters in the verse, because he really got to go to work a bit in this movie, unlike the other. Like, he got to go to work in Thor: The Dark World, and then he got to go to work in whatchamacallit, in Thor Ragnarok. So he really got to go to work in this one. And the humor is just amazing. I died of laughter throughout the entire film. I just love to watch it. It makes me happy to see it every time I watch it. And then the immigrant song being on a tight scene is great. And the cons are, the humor kind of takes away from a lot of the serious stuff, which is really the only con of the film, because it's like, this is super dark material here, and we're laughing and joking and laughing it off. Alright, well, we're gonna get to number 1A. The number one best Marvel Cinematic Universe film is Avengers Endgame. And it's the biggest film ever, pretty much. It made almost $3 million at the box office, the biggest movie. And the pros are, it's full of story. You finally they get full control of everything now. So you can introduce who you want. You can have all the characters you want. You don't have to do any of the foreshadowing or any of that. You can just do it. It has a lot of callbacks to the history of the MCU. So it basically has all the say pretty much if they had Loki was like a bigger role in the film, or like they had a Thor Loki mission on there, he'd be like, Loki, get help, or something like that, like Ragnarok, pretty much. Let's do get help in that movie, like just stuff like that. That's what they were doing all the time. The ending of Cap's story was amazing. It was kind of goofy, but that's one of the cons for it. Tony Stark gets pretty much to end this Tony Stark his arc, so we know he won't return to the MCU now with Robert Downey Jr., which is a bad thing for the MCU right now, because it's like he's a big money maker. He was the star of the whole thing, and now that the star's gone, you kind of gotta make it different now. Now you're in the dilemma now that you have now, where Tom Holland isn't involved anymore, and you have the issue where Evans is left, and you don't know how much longer you're gonna have Chris Hemsworth. So you end up in the dilemma now where what can happen next. So we're looking at this now.
This all seems horrible.
To where
We
it
got
has a pretty good.
just like you
Alright,
said.
so now we're gonna get into the cons. Well, the movie is a love letter to the MCU, but what the cons are, it's too much humor. There's too much jokiness in this whole thing.
I don't
Like,
see how that's a
you getting Thor, and he's kind of
Dr. Banner,
doing the whole crybaby
now
depressed
might be a
thing,
really good time for you to get angry.
and it's
That's my
like,
secret, Captain.
yeah, make Thor like you
I'm
got
always
you got
angry.
Thor depressed, but they're over here joking, talking about Lebowski and all this shit, and not really letting him be the man, and it's disrespectful to that. And it's just goofy. There's too much humor involved. This should have been the damn. This is the big tearjerker of the whole
Guess
verse.
this means reinforcements
We
have
gotta have
arrived.
it be that big
Better take that
tearjerker.
thing
You're
down
not
when you
allowing
got
it
a
to be the
chance.
big tearjerker when it really is. It's supposed to be the saddest movie in the verse. But it's the finale. It was executed well. It is the best MCU film. You got all the characters. You have the big time fight feel. You have all of that. You get every single thing you need out of this film. And that's what makes it the best. You get everything you want, everything you need. The Avengers Assemble, the Cap wielding Mjolnir, all of it. But I'm gonna close off on that note. And I'm gonna thank you guys for watching this series. I'm gonna get to some more MCU content down the line. And I'm gonna catch you guys later.